standards, and we sure as hell aren't coaching or playing up to it. We're way off, and that's up to us to fix that. And also told the team it's for us to go away, get it together. Not the worst thing for us. We got to find solutions, where we're at, and doing that together, that's the right space to go do it. So we'll take it on the road tomorrow night, and we got a lot of things to fix. Like I said, we're off course, things to address, and being together is the best way to go do that.
Dan, you've tried different things to fix that defense. None of it has worked. How do you explain that, and how baffled are you by what's going on?
Yeah, we're all obviously disappointed, like just execution, not creating takeaways, the ones to go. And I think, over why you're seeing that, that's definitely frustrated, and we all are. Baffled, frustrated, all of that, all those emotions, John, it's accurate. So we got to channel that, into finding the things that we can do well and play that. Because when we can't, it's, too easy, too difficult, too easy for us, or too difficult, too easy for them, whatever that looks like. But play style, identity, all that, it feels off.
Then what other changes can you even make when you look at that D, whether it's personnel, staff? Are there more things that you can do at this point? Yeah, I understand you have to ask that. Honestly, post-game, I'm not there yet, want to have thoughtful, answers and decisions and personnel. But like I said, I understand you have to ask that, but I'm not there yet to figure it out. So I got a lot to look at tonight as we get into the week, and we have, this game and then a bye. We got to put everything we can into this week to make sure we can play like we're capable, fix some of these issues. And so to me, that's kind of where my tunnel vision is of start with that.
Season's different, and this team's different from last year's team. I just wonder, though, there's still a lot of guys that were here last year.
Yes.
And I just wonder how stunned you are that you all are so far away from where you were last season in terms of not just the results, but just the way you were playing.
Yeah, we definitely are. That's why, the frustration, man, I get that. And it's not an excuse. We got to find a way to channel that frustration, like you saw at the end of the half, penalties and actions, we can't have it. It's all coming from that, from the frustration, the angst, that feeling, the darkness of it all. No one saw that, obviously, coming, DA, about where we're at. But I also told him, that's the chapter in. That's where we are, and we have to be the ones to get it out. I'm not saying it's going to go, this much better, but it has to be. And we're the ones to go do that. We got to be the ones to dig it out. And that's why I kind of just want, everything I can into this game, this moment, and see what we can go get better at. And that's what we'll do.
Planned out Spain for probably months.
Yep.
I just wonder, do you think about changing anything just because of where you are right now?
No, just the opposite. I'm feeling fortunate that we are hitting the road tonight together. Sometimes when you're going through it, you need everybody together. You talk about it and what's the thing you can do better and you can do. And so if all of us start collectively thinking that way together, it forces you to do that. And so we got a good group, man. You don't want, you have to have these standards that you go to, but this is where we're at. And so we got to fix it together and solutions. And so by them doing that together, it's fortunate that we're in this time. If we hadn't, I wish could we move it up to go and spend as much as we can to get answers, solutions. The practice and the preparation, I thought last week hit the mark. The performance didn't. So there's more to it. It's not, where are we missing? Where are we missing? There's a gap that's taken place, and that's, like I said, it's everybody.
Understanding it's post-game and then you're on a plane in 24 hours. When that bye week does hit, how do you plan to look at kind of big picture stuff then, and what all will that entail? Yeah,
you want to start and say, okay, what are the things featuring the players, put them in the best spots they can do their thing. Have a sense for who will be back after that, but that will be a factor eventually. But in the meantime, how do we look at, just finding ways to improve? And that is number one, top of the pile. That means shifting people, personnel, more scheme of this, less of that, everything's on the table. But in the next 6 days, man, it's just lock in for this. And then while the guys get that break coming back, that's the staff part to say, okay, from the view up top, no bias. it looks bad. Why are we not hitting the right spots? And like, leave that aside to say, this is what it has to look like moving forward. And so that's kind of the headspace I'm in. I'm not there to the bye yet, but that's my focus this week. But there's a process to go through during that one, and ours will be more lengthy than usual. But in the meantime, it's like short-term solutions for this week to get it better.
Coach.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm right here. Ben Sinnott scored his first touchdown since week 7 of last season. What are you liking from him so far this season leading up to his touchdown moment, but also to what are you looking for him to improve upon moving forward?
Yep. The group is a good one at tight end. And what I've seen from Ben is more urgency in his play. The confidence has come through. It really almost started on the special team side first, where in the preseason you saw tackles and making plays, and then it kind of carried over into the offense. But see the other players have the belief in him. He's got real speed. He's physical as a blocker. So it was good to see him make the jumps that you want to see a player going from year 1 into year 2. You want that to happen. It doesn't always. So it's good to see him making those improvements and seeing that come to life. It gives you confidence knowing that, okay, he's making the plays to take it to the next spot. Yep.
You saw some frustrations boil over on the field with
Yes.
Ron and Quinn. What were your vantage points of those incidents, and how do you keep that from spilling over into the locker room?
Yeah. It wasn't like spilling over into the locker room. It was more like, I get the frustration, but we've got to find a way to channel our frustration, better or different than that, like a penalties or an actions that, hurt our team. That part, it obviously like addressed it hard at halftime about our poise and what it's got to look like and where it goes. And so to see that happen, okay, that's good. But like, I don't know what the difference in penalties, like all those things, like, man, that can't happen. Like we're like margins are here. And so like when you make it harder, like that takes away from it. So the frustration is not an excuse, I guess, that I'm trying to say, Nikki.
The team fracturing, given, just the overall frustration of losing?
No, I worry about the emotion of it, but not fracture. Like they're tight, they're connected, the work's there. Frustration, like, visibly upset, just why isn't going, like we want it to. And that's kind of what I was referring to with David earlier a little bit about it's not the worst thing to go together right now. And, it's kind of like not going away to camp, but going away. All right, let's talk through, find these spaces. And it might be these small things that we need to do differently that can add to it. Everybody's searching. We're frustrated, players, coaches, everyone. But ultimately, like I said, first things first, man, like just into this week. What can we do better, heading into this game? And then breathe and, okay, next set. And then I'll go from there.
And obviously everything falls under your responsibility as head coach, but as a guy for the defensive side, how bizarre is it to watch these other teams come in and just be able to score possession after possession against you guys?
Yeah, the last 2.5 games I've been, obviously super disappointed. I thought, I guess what was it, in Kansas City at the first half, I thought that was like, okay, moving in the right space. And what's the saying, a step forward and then backwards, and so it's not what we want. And that's a big part of us, like I said, the identity and play style and all of it. So
are consistent, on defense, whether it's the missed tackles or, coverage issues, whatever it may be. How do you sort of keep that optimism that there is a solution, that you can find one within this season and it's not just going to continue happening? Yeah.
I think when you show the examples when it's right, okay, this is what we look like, this is what it needs to be. When you find like the ups and downs, that's the part that is frustrating for everybody, like yes here, no here, yes here, no here. And so I think I referred to it last week. Sometimes you see somebody over trying and getting out of a gap. I didn't sense that tonight, honestly, like frustration for like why we're not executing, why we're not hitting our marks. But I didn't feel like somebody was, way out of space. Like I'm going to go try to make this play on this one, but I'll have a better chance to look at that tonight. Anger, frustration, all like the normal emotions you'd expect everybody to have right now. And like I said, I'm just kind of locked in on this week to say, all right, what do we do this week to, play like we're more capable of? And that's a short-term answer and solution, but we're not going to stay like it is either.
Dan, given you're so locked in, are you even aware of like Air Force One flying over and the president being
No.
here? Is that just not even?
No. One thing I really appreciate about being here with the team like on Salute to Service and here, like the amount of military leaders, that are here and that I got to meet today. And it hits differently here. Like my background with Salute to Service has been one that like I really value and think highly of. And so for me to, be here as coach of this team in this location, like, man, that's a big deal. And that's not ever lost on me. Some of the biggest heavy hitters, in our country in the military were here at our game today watching football and being around us. And so having football be a big part of what we do for our country and here in the NFL and how important it is, like that is never lost on me. And definitely wanted to give them a better performance today than we did.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right.